Hey everybody, we're live. Devin Rex for Art here. Thanks for coming to my channel. If you're watching the replay, just sort of zoom forward till something's happening. I'm going to show the completed cards from last week, which I haven't mailed yet. And then I think we're going to do like some watercolor techniques on the gel plate. So if you missed it, I was interviewed this morning by PM Artist Studio. So I'll put a link in my description later, but I think you'll also be able to find it on my channel after we add the collab. So I'm gonna say hi to people. Hi Carol, hi Brenda, hi Dar, and hello Sandy. Hey Barbara Chicken Pot Pie. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming. Hey Utah. Hey Bling Auntie. Good to see you guys. So I'm just checking the screen now, and I think just a little bit askew, not too bad. So I'm gonna just show the finished snark cards. Let me just see if that's add a little bit more light. Thanks, Dar. Dar put the link in. So it took me a few days to finish these, and then I added stickles. So stickles is like a glitter glue, and that takes a while to dry. You want to make sure they're not squished with anything else. So I thought, what's one more day? I'll mail them this afternoon. I've got the envelopes ready to go. Hey Joanne. Hi Beth Webb. Hey Becky. So I'm just going to show you some of the snark cards that we did last week up close. And then I wrote a little message on the back to whoever won the card. So that's all I want for Christmas is a silent night. And these images are from Collage Soup, Festification. This one says, Dear Santa, I can explain, but it will take a while. Can you guys see the shimmer when I rotate it? And this one is Holiday Calories Don't Count. Don't fact check me. This one I didn't put any stickles on. And this one too, I didn't put any stickles on. Would you like me to show you what to do with the stuffing? So the people that won these, they're going to go out in the mail today. The tree isn't the only thing getting lit this year. And this one I put stickles on the berries, around some of the polka dots, and I liked it on the little snowflake areas. And the last one, kiss you under the mistletoe. I wouldn't kiss you under anesthetic. So I do like, if you don't have any stickles and you want to get one color, I would get Stardust, or I don't know what this one is. This one isn't Stardust. This one has more of a, Stardust has more like a blue tint to it, and this one here has more of a gold. So I used both of these. So those are going to go out in the mail this afternoon. Like I said, the envelopes are ready to go, so that won't take too long to pop those in the mail. Sorry they didn't get mailed this weekend. We should do a giveaway at the beginning of every month. Who did I miss? All right. Hi. Oh, hi, Belinda. Hey, Star Traveler. Good to see you guys. And I've got all messages on. Yes, I do. Excellent. Hey, Jackie. Thanks so much. So when I was being interviewed today on PM Artist Studio, I showed this piece that I did January 2025, and it's using watercolor on the gel plate, and then you pick it up using gloss medium on your paper. And this was an image transfer and then the watercolor. This one was a watercolor directly on the plate using matte medium to kind of hold the watercolor. So I thought we could do two of those. I'll show you what I'm planning in a second. Hopefully it works. Some stuff that is new to me is I bought these Masha watercolors, and they just arrived. These are from Etsy. And so I swatched them out, and these have been on my wish list for a very long time. So I thought we could use these on the gel plate. And then she also sent me some dot cards when these arrived in the mail. She sent me some dot cards with these other colors. So that is, I think, what we're going to do today. I know last week I had taken out, I showed these paints, these Meeden soft bodies, and the plan was originally to use those this week, but I really want to use some stencils with them, and I don't have my new stencils for December, so I'm going to wait till next week to use those. Carrie the Crafter did a video using these recently. I'd already got these, and he found them quite kind of loose, I guess, but I'm still going to give it a go. A lot of them are transparent, so I went ahead and I did a little swatch on Pim Artist Studio. You can get a printout of, it's got like grayscale on it, and then I printed those on sticker paper, and then you can swatch your paints so you can see how translucent or not translucent they are. So like those are fairly, most of them are translucent. I think the white says it's not, but it's, you know, not super opaque. So anyways, we'll try those next week. All right. Hey, Karen. That's Slapping Paint on Paper. You guys should check out her channel. Hey, Linda Gibbs. That's my Stampin' Up enabler. If you're in Canada and you need a Stampin' Up person, check out Linda Gibbs Stamp and Skate. So I did just a warm-up on here before doing a transfer. This was actually using the Meeden paint, so it's kind of soft looking. So that might be interesting for some softer effects. I don't think we're going to use those today, but who knows, right? Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Just a little bit. We'll see if that's good. So I thought we would do two different projects. So this one I want to do as an image transfer. And this one here, I'm going to try to do, where did those papers go? So this one, I'm going to do an image transfer, kind of like this technique. And then this one, I want to do where I paint, I put the piece under my gel plate and then I paint it. It's kind of how I did this one. So that's the plan. I didn't really have a plan until I went on Pim Artist Studio today. So we'll see how it goes. Now those images that I just showed, these two images, they're from Collage Soup's Festification. And I think I kind of showed part of this last week. So it's mostly AI images. So if you're not into AI images, you can use something else like a magazine. But then magazine, you have more of a copyright issue. So I do have a backup for this one if the image transfer doesn't work. This one I'm going to put under here, and that's going to be what we're going to be tracing. And I've already put on a coat of matte medium. So I put on this coat of just Deco Art matte medium. You can use golden matte medium. You can use Liquitex matte medium. This is just the one that was closest on my desk. Thanks, Dar. So this is ready to trace and put the watercolor on. Then you have to let it dry before you can pick it up on paper. I did those ones I showed. I did this one in December last year, and I did this one in January. So, okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this transfer, and then we'll start painting on that while the transfer is drying, and then we're going to add matte medium before we can add watercolor. So we got to get this one started. All right, I'm just going to see how centered I am. Do you guys want me to add a bit more light, or is this okay? I want to get going because the drying time takes a while. Joanne says she loves those watercolors. Expensive in Canada. Yeah, it was expensive. The shipping wasn't too bad. I think it was like 35 bucks. And the duty was $18, which I've been sort of saving up for these for a while. So it's kind of my Christmas present to myself. For myself. All right, so the image transfer, that's one thing we talked about when I was at PMR Studios this morning. Image transfer from the collage soups are a little tricky. So I do have a backup image. I usually recommend priming your gel plate by doing a pull. So that's why I did this before we came on. And I find that when I do a magazine transfer, the consistency of Liquitex Basics or this Amsterdam work pretty well. However, for the collage soup images, for some reason, it's too thick. You have to do these ones faster. So I usually use the golden fluid for this. So I'm going to use black, and I haven't been doing image transfers that often, so I might be out of practice. Hey, Laverne. So let's just go for it. I need something to brayer off onto. So the trick with image transfers is you don't want your paint too thick, and I do have quite a few videos. I have a playlist about image transfers. So if that's something that interests you, you can check it out. So the trick is not to have it too thick, and you want it so it's almost see-through. This paint's a bit hard to see through. You don't want it so see-through that it starts to bead up. And you do need to cover the plate. And you don't put your image down for very long, actually. Even less long than a magazine. So I'm just kind of looking at it a bit from the side. Oh, it's starting to bead up there. So I'm just gonna, see, too much. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna turn it around because I want her really good. So I'm just gonna go for it. See, I just went over the line. I went just a little bit too far and I took too much paint off. Oh, it didn't work. Okay. I might be out of practice. I'm going to just wipe her off. And we'll use our backup image. I can try this one again later once it's dry. So you win some, you lose some. That's the thing with live streaming is it doesn't always work. I'm going to wipe that off. Like you can sort of see her there, but that's not what I want. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe that off. And we're going to go with the magazine. So I don't know, maybe I didn't prime my plate enough, or my paint was too thin. I went too far with my roll off. So don't feel bad when it doesn't work. It doesn't always work for me either. Yeah, check out the playlist, it's better. All right, so we're gonna try this one. I usually use the Liquitex Basics, but I think I'm all out of the Mars Black, of the Liquitex. So I'm gonna use this one. And I've got a backup image from a Vogue magazine. So high contrast is best, so we're gonna try that one. There might not be enough contrast between her face and the white, but let's try it. Never give up, never surrender. Okay, so this paint is a bit more viscous and doesn't dry as fast. So we get maybe a little bit more time to work on it. Okay, so I see it's getting a bit thin there. So I'm gonna just kind of go ahead, put this on. So it's not really a transfer, it's a resist technique. The paint, the black ink is resisting picking up the paint. So some people put it on way too long. You don't need to put it on super long. Ooh, I barely got her face in there, but we got it. So where there's black left, that's like where there was a bubble, like I didn't push it down enough. Like here, I didn't really push it down enough. So that's what we had tried to do with this, and we can try it again later. So I might wipe off some paint from the boobage area. Hi, Heidi Robbins. I'm just going to just kind of clean that up just a little bit, not too much. I don't mind if it's grungy. And maybe we'll do is I'm going to take off some of that word, and we'll clean up beside her face a little bit. Remember, we're going to watercolor her in, so I'm just going to do that. I don't want her to have a beard. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. While it's drying, I might just add some stamps on, just to give it sort of a Christmas vibe or more interest over here. So I pulled out a few stamps. I think we might use that one, or maybe this one. You could even stamp off. I could stamp off there. I'm not going to. Okay, let's just go ahead. Let's add that. I think that's nice and simple. I'm just going to put a bit of black on a smaller plate. I will put just a little bit of black stamping on there. You can also add like paint through stencil. Often when I do an image transfer, I'll use pan pastels. But today we're going to try watercolor. So I don't think I've done that in a while. So I'm just gonna, I just put a bit of paint on here. So I'm just going to put some on the stamp. This is Spiracles Style 2 from PM Artist Studios by Rhonda Donna. So we're just going to do just some spiracles for fun. I think it kind of goes with her bun. Hey, Bobby. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Sista. Did I say hi to you, Brenda? Okay. So now we let it dry, and then we're going to add a layer of matte medium before adding the watercolor. So we've got to make sure that's dry all the way. So I'll just put that aside. Da, 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 da. Put that on here. And I'm going to put that there. Okay, so this one, we already have the layer of matte medium on here, just a thin layer. And I put that on like an hour ago, so it's fully dry. So we can actually start adding some watercolor. I'm just going to move this out of the way. Now, when I did the this one, I sort of did some of the drawing with Inktense pencils, so we're going to do that. Now, instead of doing the same colors that this is, I thought we would try to do maybe more like a pop art vibrant color, which I don't have. I like doing vibrant colors, but in terms of painting, we'll see how it goes. So let's use purple, because I'm thinking I'm going to use like purples and pinks and oranges. So I've got my Inktense pencils here. So I'm thinking we use like this violet color, or we could play it safe and use bark. I'm not decided. Let's use bark. We can add some purple in. So this one's bark here. Now I'm going to tilt this a little bit so that I can see it more like straight on, so I'm not getting like too much distortion. And I'm just going to dip the tip of this into some water. Sound still okay? And how's the lighting all right? I just have like the natural light today. I don't have, well, I have a few lamps, but not my ring lamp. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start. This is hard. I'm going to actually go up here. Okay. So I'm just dipping in the water. I'm not going to totally outline it. I think I'm just going to outline some areas. It's going to take a while. When I did that cup, it was just on like a small, it's like on a 5x7 plate. So this might be a little bit ambitious to try to do these two projects, but we'll just kind of give it a go. I think I want to do his nose in purple. So maybe I'll just do the edge of his nose and then we'll fill it in with some purple. All right. So I can't really look at chat too much right now. If you want to say something to me, to put it in uppercase. Hi, Missy. Hi, Anne. Okay, so we're just going to kind of do a little hint. Then we'll get out the Masha watercolors and give it a try. Okay, and then do that. And then I'm going to do his sweater probably in green. I'm just going to trace the sweater with charcoal gray. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but you know what? That's okay. We're just, my channel, I like it to be about fun, friendliness, experimentation. My words for 2025 were fearless and fun. So if you're too afraid to fail, you're not going to have fun. So like that first image transfer didn't work, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to just trace this one a little bit. It's hard for you guys to see what I'm doing, but and then let's have some, we'll have some ornaments coming down from his ears. Perhaps we should use this. Let me just start watercoloring him. So I'm going to do his eyes with the purple Inktense. Purple, violet, violet, violet. Here it is. Okay, so we're going to go with non-realistic colors here. Hi, Christine, Cat and Paste. Yes, so I've got an image under my gel plate that I'm tracing. Okay, and I've got a layer of matte medium on the gel plate. Oh, I shouldn't have moved that. I've got a layer of matte medium on the gel plate that is holding the water soluble products. I have to reline that up a bit. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna make his eyes. And then we're gonna use gloss gel medium to pick this up. So I wanna keep the white in his eye. He might end up looking a little cross-eyed by the time we're done with him, right? Let's use this bark one to just do a little bit of the eyes. Hopefully this will look like a deer when we're done, or a reindeer. Okay. Now, I'm tempted to maybe stamp on a crazy color for his sweater. What if we do that? Okay, let's do, thinking his sweater's going to be green. Or let's make his sweater teal and we'll stamp this with green. You know, we can use Inktense to stamp it. Let me just grab, but then when I color over it, it's going to smudge it. So let's use acrylic paint. Okay, so I'm going to use green. Where's my little plate? Here it is. Okay, so let's use a little bit of a dark green. I got this deep green. And this is stamped by Sophia, designed by Sophia Buttons, and another PM Artist Studio stamp. So this is acrylic, so we're mixing a little bit of acrylic on this one. So I'm just going to go over top the whole thing. And then I'm going to just wipe away this part here where his collar is. Okay, once that's dry, I'm going to use, I'll use some paint, some watercolor. Okay. Always clean your stamps when you use acrylic paint on them. So I'm not going to take my picture out until I'm done because it was a little hard to line it up. So we're going to do some traditional colors, but let that dry a little bit, and we're going to add a bit of the matte medium to our image transfer to prep it for the watercolor. Okay, so I'm just going to put a layer of matte medium, and let's just use, on this one I used the Deco Art. Let's use the Liquitex on this one. Okay, so make sure the paint's dry, otherwise we're just going to smudge it. So just going to do that. Make sure your brayer is not got wet paint on it. So that's too much, so I'm going to take off a bunch of that paint or matte medium. So basically matte medium is like a clear acrylic paint, so it doesn't have pigment in it. So it basically acts like glue. Right here, notice it's not really going on there. Okay, so I don't want it too thick because I want it to dry sooner than later. Okay, so I'm going to just let that dry, and we'll come back to this one. I might put my little fan on it on the desk over here. La 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 la, me me me, ooh, 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 ha ha ha. All right, so this is my fan. I don't use a heat gun on my gel plates because I'm chicken for that. Okay, so I just have it kind of going on there. All right, let's go back to our pop art deer. So I want to use crazy colors on him. We might bring the Inktense back, I'm not sure. And then I think we want to put a few, maybe we should do those now. Should we do some big ornaments coming down, or should we do some funky wallpaper? Or should we keep it simple? let's just start with the watercolor. So I don't want to contaminate my new Masha watercolors. So I'm going to take out a palette. I thought about doing like realistic colors, but then I really want to use my Masha palette, and it doesn't really have realistic deer colors. Okay, so now I'm going to just use this. I'm not using my good watercolor brushes because it's going to be on the matte medium. Now I just need to stand up, I think, to get the angle right. All right, so we want pop art colors. I did grab some inspirational photos. Let me just show you what I'm kind of using as inspiration. Split view, right split. So kind of like this kind of vibe, just kind of bright colors. Not one specifically, but just kind of in general. So I'm thinking where there's shadow, I'm going to start with purple. Okay, and I need my swatch card. Okay, so it goes like that. So let's use, that's kind of a cool color. Maybe we use these two here. So it's kind of interesting to try to, this is my first time using these Masha watercolors. I'm just going to mix up a bunch of paint. So I got some purple. Let's do some of this blue here. It's I saw like Denise Love uses these a lot. And then we'll use sort of some yellows and some oranges on the other side. Okay, let's just start. Okay, so I'm going to put, it's going to take a while to dry. Oh, you know what? I can't do it on an angle because it's just going to slide down. Okay. I should probably outline his little chinny chin chin. Okay. Now I almost need this thicker to stay on there. Yeah, I'll have to take it from the palette because it's too watery otherwise. And let's put a little bit here. Let's do, this might look crazy. We'll see. It's hard for you guys to see what I'm doing. I wonder if I do more at an angle. If I do that, I'm going to kind of go down like that. Uh-oh, didn't like that. Okay, is that better? We'll see how it looks on the screen. Now, I don't want to take too much time doing this. I want to make it loose and fun. Is that a better angle for you guys? I'm going to put a little bit of this purple over on this side too. So you want your paint kind of thick. This might look a little bit cray-cray by the time we're done. All right, I'm gonna look at chat here. Okay, I'm gonna put some blue up here. And probably should have done like a trial of this, but you know what? C'est la vie. Let's put some blue there. Okay. Bit of blue there. Hope we have time to do all this. Okay. Now let's use a little bit of we'll let that dry a bit, then we'll add some orange. But let's use this bright blue here, which I think is this one. Yeah, sort of like a teal blue. Sorry guys, it's hard to chat. My head's like right above the camera. Okay, and then let's use a bit of this blue down here. I don't have a lot of experience watercoloring like pop art, but I'm just thinking I'm gonna use some this blue is like the shadow on this side, and then we'll use some orange and some red. Okay, now let's use some, maybe this pink color here. Or is that too close? I think that's too close. This one here, peach, I think it's called peach. This one, yeah, that's more. Hey, Julie Parker. I'm glad you guys have each other to keep yourselves entertained, because I'm not really able to look at chat very much here. And then I'm planning to use like a yellow. Okay, maybe we'll use a little bit of this peach color over here for his eye and his ear. Maybe a little bit in here. This is crazy. I feel crazy. Okay, let's use this orange. And then we'll use the yellow over his eye. So a bit of orange. It's going to be cray-cray. Oops, that's too watery. So you want it a little bit thick, I think, if you want it to dry. And I think we did the orange there. Okay, let's use the yellow. I almost feel like I need a bit more of that blue here first. I'll spread that blue down here. Okay. And yellow. So that's this one here, which is Tiger Eye. So something like this would be fun to do, like not on the gel plate. On the gel plate we get maybe a few more surprises. Maybe we'll get happy accidents, maybe not, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to put some yellow here above his eye there. And then we can always like fix things, right? So I think I'm pretty happy with that. It's very wet. So now let's do a pink color. Let's do this color here. Is that the pink we want? Yeah, we'll do pink. Let's just do like that. And then we're going to add green on his sweater. Or no, teal blue we said. No, let's do green. Let's do like a bright green. So I'm just going to add some pink there. And let's just use the yellow on this side here. And then we'll add maybe that teal blue here. It's kind of like a shadowy color. Sorry guys, I'm not chatting much. I usually like to chat more with you guys. If you're just coming in, I showed the snark cards that we worked on last week, and they're going to go in the mail now. Okay, let's go ahead and put some, let's do some fun green. How about this one? I think that's a really nice green here, this one. And that is, I think it's this one. And the only reason, if you're coming in late, the only reason it's kind of staying on the plate is that I have matte medium on here already. So let's do green, and we've got a stamp on there. Oh, I forgot to take the stamp out from in between his armpits. Might be too late. We might have to paint over those after. I think it's too late to take those out. So we're going to do a light green, and then let's do this darker green, this one here. Keeping that pop art style. So I don't have my Christmas tree up yet. And then let's add, for fun, let's add a bit of this one. It has sort of like a blue tinge to it. I didn't really tell you guys the names of all of these, did I? Let's see how that goes. Okay. So this Tiger Eye, Flame, Peach, Weathered Rose. You guys probably can't see that. Tiger Eye, Flame, Peach, Weathered Rose, Ultramarine Purple, Turquoise Violet, Deep Sea, Forest Green, Ocean Wave, Cobalt Green Hue, Shadow Green, Dark, Serpent Green. Ooh, I think I missed something. Let's go here, sorry. I know that's Peach, Rose, Ultramarine Purple, Ultramarine Magenta, Turquoise Violet, Deep Sea, Forest Green, Ocean Wave, Cobalt Green Hue, Shadow Green Dark, Serpent Green, Blue Iron, Viola, and Tree Bark. Whew. Hi, Sherry. And you guys probably couldn't really see the sweater. So there's the sweater. So I'm tempted to do a pan pastel background just for time. Just a little bit more yellow here. Because we're going to pick this up with something clear. Or we could do these, the same ones as like a ornament. They're pretty big though. Let's see if I have some smaller stamps. Thinking, because we're going to pick it up with clear. What if we just draw some ornaments with the Inktense pencils? Let's just draw some. This is the purple one. And then we draw like this one here. Okay. They're not the best, they're not the worst. Okay, let's do a background just with this color here. That is the turquoise violet. Which, is that this one? No. Oh, we've already used that one. Yeah, I don't want it to be the same as him. I want it to really stand out. So maybe we do like red and orange on one side. I'm worried this is going to take too long to dry though, I have to say. So let's just do some ornaments. Just going to put in some random colors. Let the watercolor do the work. Whoops. Some of them are going to make mud, that's okay. I wonder if maybe we could just pick this up with like a light, oh no, we can't pick up with light green because we've got to use the matte medium, the gloss gel medium. Things that make you go, let's try this one. This is like a violet. Okay, I'm going to put this under the fan. We're going to work on the other one for a bit. Let's do a bit of this one here. Maybe we'll just plan to paint the background after. Okay, so there. You guys probably couldn't see that last one that I did. There it is there. So I'm going to put that over in the fan. I got to keep it flat so things don't run. So I don't know if you guys can see, like this here is really still quite wet. So I'm going to just carry it flat over to my other desk. And we'll put the fan, just switch that one. I don't want the fan too strong because we don't want it to blow everything. I'll just kind of have it circulating around it. Hopefully that's flat enough. Okay. I'm exhausted. All right, this one we're not going to do pop color. I think what we'll do though is I'm going to do her face in Pan Pastel. Bye, Joanne. Okay, so I'm going to do Pan Pastel on her skin. And then we'll just add a bunch of just fun colors around, just for time, because we are going to run out of time, I think. It's 2, we have another hour, we got to let that dry. Okay, let's just use Pan Pastel. We'll do this one super mixed. And we'll just use like a flesh tone. And then this one we could pick up with, no, we can't pick it up with gold. We have to pick it up with the matte medium, a gloss gel medium, sorry. Okay. So just for time's sake, I'm going to put her skin in with Pan Pastels. And I'm just going to keep it simple. We're going to do like a shade color and I'm just going to do some skin tone colors. I hope I'm not, oh, you guys don't hear anything? What, can you guys not hear me? I hope you guys can hear me. Okay, I'm going to bring this up again now. And there we go. All right, so we're just going to use some Pan Pastel because it's very quick to do Pan Pastel. And you can even use makeup if you don't have Pan Pastel. Pan Pastel is a dry medium, so I'm going to just open this up here. Let's use some of these so I don't take out my other tray of Pan Pastels. Let's just give her some blue eyeshadow just to be, you know, crazy. And then let's give her some pink pink cheeks. I'm just using the makeup for this because all my other colors are in the other case. So let's just do, so the Pan Pastel has more pigment than these makeup. Let's give her some severe 80s makeup, hey? Sure. All right, now let's use the Pan Pastel. And I'm going to use a little bit of darker color. Now remember, whatever you put down first on the gel plate, that is what you're going to see first. So I'm going to put the shading colors on these areas first. And then we're going to blend in, I should have done her lips. Let's do some boobage shading, sure. And then we're going to add some watercolor still. Okay, now I'm going a little bit lighter. A little bit lighter. Okay, and then I'm going to go lightest. Let's do here first. Ooh, that's very light. So I was going to do this all in watercolor, but just for time, let's just do this. Okay. And I can go over top of the other part, doesn't matter. And we'll do her face. It's kind of nice that her eyes are closed, so I don't have to worry about doing her pupils and her iris. And we're going to pick this up with gold, so I think I'm going to just leave her necklace. Actually, we'll put a bit of color in the center, and then we'll let the gold show through. So we're kind of thinking on the fly here. You guys are hearing what's going through my brain. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. We're going to pick it up with gold. I'm just going to go on an angle to make sure I've got pretty full coverage. I think we do, maybe just a little bit right here. Okay. All right, now we're going to do just some fun watercolor around the edges. I'm just going to check on my deer, make sure things aren't sliding around too much. We are getting some pooling, mostly the ornaments though, so I'm not too concerned about that. Okay. All right. So let's use our watercolor and put some fun color in here. I'll bring you guys down again so you can see from an angle. All right, let's use something. What have we not used? So we're gonna pick this up with gold. Let's try this purple one here. Oh, that's probably pretty wet. Remember, we have the matte medium on here. Now I think I want to try to put it a little bit thinner, so I'm just going to take some of that out. Though when it's thicker, you get that cool granulation though, right? So this is that purple. They could all be different. They don't have to be the same, but okay. Full screen. Bye, Julie. Okay, so let's do, remember we're picking it up with gold. Oh, I missed this one here. Let's add a little bit here with the purple. You guys can't see that. That was the one on the bottom. Maybe that's too far. Is that better? Okay. So let's just do like a bunch of colors, right? Should we stay in the blues and the greens? Let's do that. Let's just stay kind of in this area and just kind of do some green. Different greens. So normally I don't know if I'd use these new really good watercolors on this, but because I got them new, I wanted to use them. I'd probably use some less expensive watercolors. I don't know. And then what if we use, not yellow because we're going to have gold. What if we switch to like a magenta just for fun? I don't think I've used this one yet. You guys can't see my palette. Let's go down here. This magenta. This one here. Oops, that was the red. And of course, magenta and green will make brown. But that's okay. So here I got to be careful because I don't want it to, I'm not sure how it'll react to the pan pastel. I forgot to do a lip color for her, so maybe we will okay, and then I'm going to use watercolor for her lips because I forgot to do the pan pastels. We're going to use this one, this peach one. Okay, oh, down here. Let's use another green. Let's use this dark green here. All right. Now I can't really pick it up with gold like I was thinking because I need the gloss gel medium, which is clear, but if my substrate has gold, that might work. Let me see if I have a gold gel print. I can pick it up onto you. It has to be thick cardstock though. I kind of forgot about that when I said, let's pick it up on gold. It has to be thick paper. Do I have? That's not going to show. Well, I think we're just going to pick it up with white. I forgot about that. Unless I can quickly paint some gold onto a cardstock, we could try that. Okay, I'm going to get a thick cardstock, like so. Okay, I'm going to bring this up. So I'm going to let that dry. So if I want to pick that up with gold, I can't put gold on here. We have to put the paper onto the watercolor. So it's all going to make sense in a minute. So I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to move this out of the way. So I have to let this dry. Okay. And I'm going to make that gold. And instead of using my favorite gold, which is the iridescent rich gold, I want to use the lighter gold. So instead of using this one, I'm going to use this one. And I'm just going to make a simple gold paper, but I need a gel plate to do that. I don't need a gel plate, but we're going to use a gel plate so it's an even coat. So I'm just going to take out Big Peggy here. Did I mark under her arm or did it dry? I did mark it. It might have been pretty light. I'll double check though. Thank you. So this has a bit of sploochiness, but we're just going to go for it. So I want to make a gold base, even though there's going to be a few little pieces here. Okay. Okay, so we want that gold. Let's see if the reindeer's ready to pick up, and then this will make more sense to you guys. Okay. Thanks for coming, everybody, or if you're watching the replay. All right, this one's not quite ready, but you know what? We might just go for it. So you can see here, it's mostly dry. His ear's a little wet, and these two ornaments are a bit wet. I think I'll use some pan pastel, actually. Use some pan pastel to put a bit of color in there. And I'm thinking turquoise. We're going to let that dry anyhow, so let's just use a little bit of turquoise just to put a hint of color. All right, so I'm going to lift this up. Okay, so that has gold, so we're going to let that dry. That's going to add some texture. We're going to move that there. I feel like I'm rushing. I'm sorry. I should probably not do so many things. Yeah, I did get green under her arm, so we're good. I'm just going to put her under the fan over here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just fill in the background with a bit of blue with the pan pastel, because that's still drying there. And then we'll make it kind of splotchy so that the white showing through, maybe it'll look like snow. Thank you. Thank you, Bling Auntie. I wonder if you were behind a bit, maybe. Are you in live chat? Okay, I need the tool. Where's my soft tool? There it is. I think I want a bigger one though. My room is a mess. Okay, so I'm going to use this here, and we're going to put a bunch of, do a bit of a background. And I'm just going to be careful not to touch the, we could do multiple colors too, right? That might look kind of cool. How are we doing for time? Oh gosh. Ooh gosh. I might end up going a little long just so that these get pulled. Okay. All right, let's use, I'm using more of an electric blue. Just kind of doing a square abstract background. Maybe I'll fill this in with dark blue, and then we might have to paint that one out. I don't know. I don't like that I forgot to get rid of that stamping. Okay, so we got a little bit of light blue, dark blue. Let's add a little bit of yellow. So for the pan pastel to change color, you just kind of give it a bit of a rub like that. And then let's just go in with this bright yellow. Just sort of on the top, and then we're going to pull it with on white cardstock. My plate's a bit dirty, so it's hard to see. I'm going to use a little bit of green. Okay. Now it's still kind of wet there. What I might do is I might just pick that up a little bit. And the rest isn't too bad. Okay, let's go for it. Let's do our pickup. Okay, so for the pickup, we take watercolor or a thick cardstock. So I'm going to use this thick cardstock. And I'm actually going to get out Big Peggy to hold my paper. Okay. So we're going to take Big Peggy. We're going to use that to hold the paper. Sorry, I'm just sort of tidying up just a smidgen. I don't wreck things. Okay, and now we're going to take, this is where the trick is. Use a gloss gel medium. So it's like matte medium, but it's a little bit thicker. You don't want to use matte gel medium because it's opaque and it'll cover up all your hard work. Now you don't want to put this on too thick because then it'll take forever to dry. Okay, let's see if you guys can see. So I'm just going to use this to coat this paper, and then I'm going to put this paper on there. So I'm going to use both a paintbrush and a scooper. And you want to put it on your jelly plate before it dries. So I'm just looking for a scooper that's not too sharp. Let's use this one. Okay, so you don't want the crunchy bits, so I'm just going to take some of this matte gel medium and I'm going to put it on here, and then I'm going to spread it with my brush. I'm going to get a bit of clear water. Just to have my brush just a little bit damp, okay? And then I'm going to spread this. And I don't want thick glumps. And ideally my paintbrush would not be dirty. This might look a little bit dirty. Just going to use my... Yeah, I hope he works. Hope he works, Linda. Okay, I'm just going to use a little bit of water on this to get it spread out more. Trying to work fast. You don't want the matte gel to dry. It doesn't dry super fast though, but I don't want it too thick either. I want it smooth. Just dipping in water and I'm brushing off my brush. And then you can look on an angle to see how smooth it looks. So the idea is that because it's a gel, it's not going to move your paint too much. Just going to put a little bit more over here. And then you cross your fingers and you hope that it all works. Okay, I'm going to just spray just a smidge with some water and then try to smooth it out. Okay. Hopefully I have an 8x10 area. I almost put that brush in my coffee. I think, okay, I'm going to put it on here now. And hopefully I had the matte medium all the way to the edges, and then I usually put a book on it. So I'm just going to put this over here, push down so you guys can see kind of what it should look like once it's dry. But I feel like I might not have enough matte medium around the edges. We might lose some of the edges. Okay, I'm going to put that, I'm going to put a book on top of this. Okay. See here where it's lifting up? I don't think I had enough matte medium there, or not matte medium, gel. Okay, let's put a heavy book on that for now, and then we'll come back to that and pull it. Hopefully we can pull it. Okay, let's see if our lady's dry. She's mostly dry. So we're gonna do the same thing with her. Right there, and her arm's not dry. So when I did this one here, I even watercolored the face, but I let that dry a very long time. Okay, so this is the one we want to see if we can get the gloss gel medium onto the that gold background that we did. Okay, so it's gonna have some splotchiness. I don't like where her face is gonna be. It's gonna have splotches. I do that. That might be okay. She might have a splotch like right here, but I can't get that off. So let's let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to move that over so you guys can see. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the matte, I keep saying matte, the gloss gel medium. I've never done it. I don't think I've done it on top of paint before. So hopefully this works. Okay. It's a bit easier to see where the gloss gel medium is though. It's like icing a cake. Okay, it's easier to see on the gold, but is it going to, uh-oh, got some gel there. Okay, and I'm using my brush to smooth it out, thin it a bit. Yes, gloss gel. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to get my sort of smooth it out a little bit, not too wet. But you want full coverage, otherwise you're not going to pick up that area. Okay, I think that's actually better than the other one. Okay, let's, now I would put this down here, but then I think picking it up might be difficult. So I want to make sure her face is at the end. So if anything, I'm going to air it that way a little bit. I want to make sure to get her face on there. So I kind of moved my whole paper up a little bit. And there's also the white edge, so hopefully I moved it enough. Yeah, so it's going to be within the gold, so that's good. So that's what it should look like once it dries. I'm just going to, I got all that matte medium, the gloss gel medium here that I didn't really need. Okay, I'm going to go put that under a book. And then you cross your fingers. Okay, let me move this. Feels so quiet in here. So if you're coming in late, I did do an interview with PM Artist Studio today, and maybe that's why it feels so quiet, because I'm not actually talking to someone that's speaking back to me. Let's just put a couple books here. Okay, let's see. What else can we talk about while we're waiting? Can you use something else if you don't have gloss gel medium? I don't know, because if you have, you need it thick enough so that it doesn't move too much. So you want a gel, and a matte medium gel, it's too opaque, I find. Maybe satin would work. Hi, Apple. But I'm gonna plug my iPad in. But really the gloss gel is what, I got this technique from, I think, Jelly Arts, and the gloss gel medium is what they used. Dar says the blue squares of pan pastel give it a bokeh effect. Yeah, kind of bokeh, like I was sort of thinking that too, but they're square, not round. So, but kind of. All right, so let's talk about something else while we're waiting. So this is, I showed this before. This was some watercolor I did testing out my Kuretake granulating cosmic paints. So sometime I want to add some doodles to that. Just haven't done that yet. I should probably zoom out a little bit here. Oh, I guess, can you see that? So we could start on that while we're waiting. The other thing I was talking about is I've been doing a lot of watching coloring book videos, coloring pages, and I didn't really like coloring until I found the matte medium method of coloring. So I have this urge to buy books, but I'm like, I have so many books. So I counted, I have 53 coloring books. So what I'm doing is I'm categorizing them by the book and the release date, the artist, how many work in progresses do I have, and how many completed pages do I have. And then I'm going to do that for all 53 books. And then once I don't have any asterisks here, so the asterisk means that there's no completed pages or work in progress from that book, then I'll allow myself to buy a new book. So I've got 32 out of the 53 done so far. So like books like Maria Troll, Nightfall is a very popular book, very good quality book, and I bought it. I meant to buy Universe, but I bought Nightfall by mistake, and I've never colored in it. So I know I've shown you guys some of my coloring pages before. My new paints, they are granulating paints. They are Masha watercolor paints. She has an Etsy store. And here is the swatch. This is the swatch that she sent. I swatched it, but she sent the paper with it for swatching. So this is my first time using it other than swatching. Let me just put this light on. So yeah, they are granulating. I have a set of Daniel Smith that I really like, and most of those are granulating. There's something about granulating watercolors that I really enjoy, and they're fun for doing, especially like abstract watercolor. And if any of you have that, where is it? A Solo Designs book. I had it out to show you guys. Oh yeah. So the Solo Designs. Let me just move this. Move this out of the way here while it's drying, and hopefully those will both be dry so we can pull them. So this is a great book with lots of ideas for abstract watercolor. Thanks, Dar. Dar put in my interview from today. And Linda has a question. Okay, I'll look at Linda. Hi, Kathleen. Linda, what is the purpose of the gloss gel? So the purpose of the gloss gel is if I tried to pick up watercolor from the gel plate, it would reactivate and it would smear. So what the gloss gel does is you put it on your paper, and it's thick enough that when you put it down onto the gel plate, it will pick up all that color and paint, and it won't smush it. Does that make sense? So Christine says, you did this recently to put in categories by season or theme. Yeah, so I'm going to actually put all my Christmas and seasonal on a separate piece of paper, and I'm going to have a separate page for that. I didn't know how to do them by theme otherwise. And I've been watching a hashtag called My Coloring Confessions. So Christine, I'd like you to check that out. Shell's Coloring Journey. She has the tag Coloring Confessions. So I tried to straighten that, and I think I made it worse. So let's just do a little flip through of this book while we're just waiting a little bit to the last minute for those pulls to dry. So this is a Solo Design on Instagram, and her name is Kate Rebecca Leach. Janet Young does a lot of watercolor from here. So she has, that's her there. Why am I so crooked? Why am I so crooked? that better? It's so crooked. Is that worse? Okay, I'm gonna wait to see if it looks less crooked. No, it looks more crooked. I think I went the wrong way. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so if you like abstract watercolor, you can add a bit of, mixed media. And have I seen her book about mixed media? I've seen a flip through of it. I don't have it, but it looks very good as well. So there's a lot of projects in here I would like to do, or it's nice. She gives ideas for like different doodles you can do as well. So that's gorgeous. So different ideas and techniques. Kate Rebecca Leach, yes. Thank you, Dar. So if you want to play with watercolor, but you don't necessarily want to do something representational, this might be fun for you. Joe Lou. Hi, Joe Lou. You had to get Lisa Frank $3. Some of my coloring books that I count are actually from the Dollarama. You can get some good ones at the dollar store. So that's so beautiful. And then she'll go through projects like step by step how to do it. And you could choose a different color palette. You could choose different doodles. Like maybe you don't want it that light. You could use purples. You could use greens. You could do whatever. Hi, Hazel. You're a first timer here. Well, thank you for coming. And I believe you are a fellow Albertan. This is more like patchwork. So here she shows how you can like do different colors, right? I'm just doing a flip through of this book by Solo Design, Kate Rebecca Leach, while we're waiting for some gel prints to be ready to pull. So these are more natural colors. And I love it when what I like about watercolor is when things leak onto other areas. The flow of watercolor, I just really enjoy. And scallops. So she drew them first, then painted, and then doodled. Freestyle, abstract. More inspiration. So here's one version that you could do a different version, right? With different shapes, like different. You don't have to copy her exactly. Stylized flowers. So just put some blobs and then make them into flowers. Simple leaves. Overlapping. Janet did this one. Janet M. Young did that one, and it looked really good. Terry, I don't know if she's here. She did a version of that as well. Organic trees. So it's a very inspirational book. Botanical patterns, more inspiration, abstract landscape. I love abstract landscapes. I was going to do abstract landscapes on the gel plate today, but then I just sort of changed my mind. And next week we're going to play with these Meeden soft body paints, and then I'll try to have, we'll have some stencils to use with that. Oh, well, isn't he hooked up to Amazon? Pretty instantaneous. So we use our air fryer a lot, and I was going to order a new basket, but then it was like $70 to order a new basket, and it was $120 to order a new air fryer. And our air fryer is a few years old already, so I'm like, and I've already ordered a new basket for it once, so I just went ahead and ordered a new air fryer, and the next day it arrived. Lucy did do really well in the interview. But then because I brought snacks up here for her, then she didn't want to leave. And then she was bothering my husband, and he had to like barricade the stairs so she couldn't come up here because she was like whining and barking and stuff. Isn't that gorgeous? I think Janet did that one too. So now she's like, oh, there can be treats up there. That's cool. So that. And I used to watch, what's her name? CC Creations, or Creations by CC. And she did a lot of that sort of style. And this is some of my earlier, like 2019. I won't show you all this, but like there's a few. So something like that, like I did that in 2019. That was with Daniel Smith. So you just make your circles and then you do some doodling, right? Those are some girls I did. I think I did more than one of those circles. Just some abstract patch. I like making blobs. Let's see. I thought I had more than those two. Or you can just let let it flow and then just doodle on it. Go with the flow. I was looking for more of my circles. Oh yeah, so here I did a whole like series. You can Zentangle, like I think this is a Zentangle pattern, but they're not all Zentangle patterns. So if you like to doodle and you like watercolor, it's good. So Linda keeps the dental sticks in her craft room, so the dog hangs with her all day. Yeah, she's very, Lucy's very treat driven, I've noticed. When we go for walks, there's this group of dogs we call the pack. And when she sees them, that lady always gives her treats. So if she sees someone that looks like that lady, she wants to go see what they're up to. There's one lady shoveling her snow, her like walkway, her sidewalk. It wasn't the treat lady, but Lucy, because she had blonde hair and a black coat, Lucy was convinced that this lady was going to give her treats. I had to pick her up and walk away. Yeah, CC Creations, she doesn't do as many videos as she used to. Okay, let's see if one of these are ready. Where did I put them? Okay, this one here. This is our reindeer. So I'm gonna just use the fan, I think on the back. It still feels a bit wet. I'm just going to peek. Don't think it's ready yet. Let me get the fan. So this technique, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Or it takes a lot longer to dry. So we still have 20 minutes before technically I'm done. Let's just see if we can speed up the drying. Kathleen says Luna will do anything for a Scooby snack. Apple says her dog is very unmotivated by food, which has its pros and cons. Yeah, for such a small dog, it's surprising how motivated Lucy is by food. I can feel a few bubbles when I rub, so I don't know if I got full contact. That's what it's supposed to look like when we pull it. Linda says, I may be your Stamping Up enabler, but you opened a whole other can of worms. Oh yes, that's right. It's your birthday coming up. Jolu's trying to work on some cards. You love the card I did last week, and you'd like to be able to give some away too, live. That's fun. I could show some of those while we're waiting for these to dry. For people that came in late, the Snark cards that we did last week. I'm just going to put the fan on these two here. Here's the Snart cards from last week, if you missed the beginning. So we have, I added stickles. And those are the collage soup images from Festification. I'm not going to read them. You guys can read them. So those are going in the mail today to the giveaway winners from last week. Sorry it took me so long. And what else? What else is new? I don't know. Let's see. And you guys want? Do you guys have a request to see anything else? Oh, I'm out of breath from talking so much. Do I know of some coloring book suitable to use water-soluble pencils and crayons? Well, yes. Depends what theme you want. I actually found, I did a little bit of work in this Dr. Seuss book, and the pages are quite, this is a page I copied for my husband to try. The pages they're pretty thick, but I use Neocolor 2s, and I'm not done. I have to shade the bulbs more, and it wrinkled, like it warped a little bit, but really it's not too bad. Christine here in chat, Cat and Paste, she has an amazing coloring channel, and I think if you check her out, I don't know if, Christine, have you done any demos using watercolors on your channel yet? I'm trying to think. Everybody says, I think the Hannah Carlson paper is pretty good for watercolor. I would, you know what I would do is I would check some coloring channels, because I'm not that well versed. This is the Hannah Carlson book, one of them, and I think I mainly used, I think that's Inktense pencils, and then pan pastels, and it worked pretty well. You can even use, you know, water soluble on Amazon paper if you're careful, very careful. Dee Dee Willingham does a lot of different coloring book pages with different media. Depends what style of watercolor you want. I know a lot of people will use the Kirby Roseanne's, the Kirby books, but they're super, what am I trying to say? They're super detailed. But even the old ones, which the paper's not that great, I used, that's water soluble. That's not too bad. But my favorite one is this Cute and Creepy. And the paper is good thickness. And I definitely have used water soluble in here. Like these zombies, that's watercolor. The background is ink. That's not magicals, but it's like, or maybe it's magical, or brush, not brushos. I can't think of it. Let's see, that's watercolor, all that. It's a little bit warpy, but that doesn't bother me. That's watercolor, all that's watercolor, and then pencils on top. So depends what style you like. There's so many coloring books. If you look at the hashtag My Coloring Confessions, there's a ton of videos out right now where people that are colorists, people that do have coloring channels, they kind of talk about their books and the paper, and They show a lot of different books if you're looking for coloring books. Coloring, yes, there's tons of coloring channels. It's funny because I left a comment on one of the coloring channels, and then she watched one of my videos and she said, wow, I didn't know art like this existed. So it's funny how there's different niches of art channels. Christine says, Cat and Paste says, to be honest, none of them really are. Yeah, they're not like watercolor paper. None of them really are. You need to be light on the water. Christine, Cat and Paste just did a demo using water in a kid's coloring book on terrible paper successfully, but have destroyed good books. So yeah, you have to be very sparse with the water because it's going to pill the paper. So check out, yeah, so Dar put the link to Christine's coloring channel. She's amazing, so amazing. Jolu says, The Magical City by Lizzie Murray Gillen Petra used Derwent Inktense pencils and is Joanna Basford. Yeah, a lot of people use the Joanna Basford books. I have one Joanna Basford book. Oh, Apple likes Art Nouveau and repetitive abstract. So yeah, you know, I would just say check YouTube. There's so many coloring channels. Okay, let's see. Still feels cool to the touch. Let's see. We can get that. Oh, it's sticking. It's not coming off. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't get the. Some of it's coming off. I think I have to kind of crack the edge. I'm going to just take this whole gel plate off of this plate here. I know when I did this in January, it worked better if I pulled the plate off of the paper, but the problem is I have this plate on this acrylic plate. I don't know if I can get it off. See, some of it's coming off there, but then it's attached there. I don't think it's dry enough yet. Don't chance it. Yeah. Let's see if this other one is dry. This still feels a bit wet too. This one's easier to pull off because I've only got acetate on the back here. Okay, let's see if this will come off. Okay, it's kind of coming off. I have to just kind of crack the edges. So it's sticking. Parts of it is sticking. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get that off this. Let's see. Part of it's coming off, but not. I think I'm going to have to let that sit longer. Yeah, it might have to be a surprise for the future. I might have to leave it on till tomorrow. So see, part of it's working here. See there? Right there? It is coming off. I'm so stubborn though. So stubborn. Okay, let me just take a peek. So I'm going to push it down, see if I can get it dislodged. I think we're gonna have to wait. Hi, Diane. A crisis. Well, we did the watercolor technique on the gel plate, and it's not dry yet, so I can't pull it. I'm just gonna see if I can see. I can't even get this plate off of this. To show you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to let that. Gonna have to let that sit, but that's the idea. And if it doesn't work, I can just, you know, redo it in watercolor regular. Yeah, it doesn't have to be on the gel plate. I really like how he looks. I hope he comes out. So this was from tracing this picture from Collage Soup Festification, and this was an image transfer from a magazine. So this is what we're trying to get. We're trying to get something like this and this. This I did in a live stream. This I think I did in 2 parts, and the paper is very, very thick. But this I actually did New Year's streamathon, I think. But it was smaller, so it didn't take so long. Yes, we have to let paint dry. And here is, I'll just show you the Festification book, if I can find it. Nope. So this is what we got the images from the snark, for the snark. And I've got some pages pulled out. These pages that I pulled out, I've scanned already. I'll just turn this off. So we cut some up last week for the snark cards, and I've got them scanned in my computer already, and then these that are still in the book are not scanned, but I can do a quick flip through, and then we'll call it a day, and then I'll pull these, fingers crossed, maybe tomorrow. I could maybe film it and make a short and then show you guys next week. So this is the Collage Soup Festification book, if you haven't seen it. I like this here, like Cat and Paste, she does this technique where she makes a coloring book look like stickers, and that's what that reminds me of. So just doing a quick little flip through. So I'm sorry I didn't go fast enough to give enough time for those to dry so we could pull them. I thought about doing one of these, like a watercolor. I think that would be cool. And I was interviewed on PM Artist Studio this morning. If you want to check that out on their channel. Eventually, I think I'll have a link or a collaboration, so it'll be on my channel too. But the faces are kind of sometimes in these Collage Soup books. I like this. This is funky. And that's fun. I tried to transfer today from one of these and it didn't work. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think my plate was warmed up enough. I think that was the issue, because I was trying to hurry because I knew it would take a while for these to dry. So I think, so I'm going to put this back in this book. And then the other one that didn't work is somewhere. I don't know where it went. I got to clean up my room. So I think that's all we're going to get to today. So cliffhanger, hopefully these pull. Sometimes you just have to be patient. So I'm just going to let them dry. But if they pull correctly, this is kind of, my plate's yellow, so it's not going to be yellow. This is kind of what it's going to look like. So we did pan pastel and we did some watercolor, just a little bit of watercolor on this one. This one is mostly watercolor. And then these little squares here, those are pan pastel. So watercolor and Inktense pencils. And then maybe I'll have to like draw his eyes, make them a little bit better. So, sorry guys, I didn't get that done in time, but I don't think waiting another half hour is going to do it. I feel like it's going to take a little bit longer. Definitely should put the interview on your channel. Yeah, I think I will, if I can figure out how to do that. Well, I hope it, it did work. If you want to see it in action, I will link the videos that this and this was done. This one, I did this in December, and then January 1st, there was a video where I tried to do this. It didn't work because I think I pulled it too quick and it was too thick. And then the one after that, I did this one. So, yeah. So thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. And I guess we'll see you guys next week. Ta-ta. And I gotta take this off again because, yes. All right, bye guys.